Welcome to the Infinite Star Connection podcast. We are your hosts, Jeff Demers and myself, Viviane Chauvet. We're both beautiful and enlightened, so to speak, intergalactic delegations with
Jeff the
us
Mail
always
himself,
with the
Vivian
Arcturians
Chauvet.
and the Ponti. And today we are going to, at least we hope to explore with Sabine Poncelet from Dubai, who is a quantum healer, animal communicator. So we're still waiting for Sabine to join us. In the meantime, I want to welcome each and every one of you to the podcast. And with us, you never know, it can be always full of surprises. So just for now, as our guest, I'm sure is getting ready to come up at any moment now. Jeff, my friend, how you doing? Good to see you today.
Yeah, I'm doing okay. Every day is a winding road, but we're okay.
Okay. I always say you can work from OK. OK can be a platform of divine neutral energy, and then from there we can really move up. I really love the symbols in your background. Is that Umo symbol language?
Yeah, they're just a collection of whoever put that together just put randomly all of these different ones in here, and I'm in the act of making a list of what everyone means. So it takes a bit. Some
Yes.
of them are
Well,
symbols that mean math, and some of them are just symbols that mean like a titanium or something. But yeah.
that's interesting. And everyone watching right now, thank you so much for being here, watching live and the replay. If you look at both Jeff and I backgrounds, you're surrounded by intergalactic languages. You're surrounded by intergalactic symbols. So I'm going to invite you to tune in and feel the energy as well as on my screen with all these beautiful light language Arcturian energies. And then with Jeff, my friend and my co-host, I don't know, Humo, but it's really about intergalactic cosmic presence. If you realize for a moment that is very much in tune with the name of our podcast, already in our sixth season. It's incredible. The Infinite Star Connection. We are truly giving a voice. We're giving a voice to the Star Nation and also for those who work with the intergalactics, works with consciousness, quantum energy, those who really, even on a human level. I mean, last time on the podcast, we had Tom and AJ from Speaking from Source, and it was such a beautiful example how tapping and tuning into our deep, higher quality as cosmic human beings and still be of service and being able to communicate with a multitude of higher consciousness. And I just want to let everyone know of the energy of just our background. You can you feel a transmission already? Right? Yes, thank you so much for the bravo. I can read the chat room and to feel the energy. Ah, merci beaucoup. Thank you very much. And to feel that really much transmitting these frequencies. So I want to say hello to everyone in the chat room. Nathalie, bonjour from la ville de Québec. We have Barbara, beautiful between US and Canada borders. Diane, Laurel, so good to see you. Megan, thank you for being here. Manuela, good to have you here. Bill in Florida, good to see you. Always a pleasure. Adrian, hello to you as well. Marie Simone, good to have you. Antonia, Ellie, of course, good to have you. Sandy, always there. Essie, good to be with you. And we have also Radka. I hope I see your name correct. I think it's beautiful. Radka from Czech Republic. That's incredible. And we have Jeff and Michaela from Australia. Good to have you today. Our friend David, and I know David, you'll be back. You'll be back right here from California. And what's up? Yes, that's you. Desi from Bulgaria. Good to see you today. Carolina, New York City. Miles, good to see you. Much love to you as well. Elizabeth, Colorado. Welcome. Linda in the UK. Hello. You'll be proud. I have my cup of tea ready next to me. And Crystal, John in Arizona, my beloved Arizona. I always said that. Margie from Michigan, and Mike Aloha from Southern California. So, and we have a vegan world. I love that. From Sicily, Italy. Molto bene, grazie. Thank you for being here. I just want to say hello to everyone in the chat room. Isn't it amazing, Jeff? We have beautiful people from all over, and of course, Kim Jim that's sending our greetings. That would be, oh, that's, I love that. So obviously something must happen to Sabine. Um, Sabine is in Dubai, and sometime with a time zone difference, let's hold the space and hold the energy. Let's send love to our guest, Sabine Poncelet, open, making sure that nothing happens. And we're, sending Sabine much love and energy and positive vibes that whatever she's going through right now and preventing her from being with us. We want to let her know there's always a space for with us, and we are coming together from all over the world to sending her really positive energy to our guests have been tuning in. And of course, we love when we come together and sending positive energy to our guests. Once in a while, something happened in the day of the podcast and our guest is unable to join. I'm gonna check my email. I'm gonna making
He's
sure
probably
if
still sleeping. I mean, it's got to be in the morning there or something, right?
well, a good point. So in Dubai, just to give you, it's 11 hours ahead of us. Well, Arizona is currently in Pacific and North America. So I know that when I do session with Sabine, she's 11 hours ahead. So it
Yeah.
would be more like after midnight for
Wow.
her. Yeah, so sometimes, I know, right? The sometime clock or time zone can be a bit confusing, but no matter what, let's just send Sabine really positive energies and love to make sure. So we'll keep an eye open. If I see her in the back studio, we'll bring her. Otherwise, let's just dive. Let's do a wonderful spontaneous Q&A, looking at the energy of where we are on the planet, looking at, ET connections and all of it. I'll be curious, Jeff, would you like to share a little bit more about your research around the humo, for example? I'm very curious. I know you talked a little bit about it, but I'd like to know a little bit more about, your connection with the humo, for example.
Well, I'm actually getting it back together again. I was scattered for a few months, but I started working on some new symbols and some new words this past week. So just I have to get into that state where I could understand what they're trying to say. It's not easy, and I know it's even tough for my Spaniard counterparts to understand what they're trying to say, let alone trying to convert it to English, which is really tough. So but like I said, these symbols behind me are just random ones that is a pretty common backdrop. People use that. They don't know what it means. Some of these symbols are backwards. Some of them are in the wrong position. But I'm getting a list together to explain what every single one means and the word for it too. But when it comes to me, I mean, I have to be like total silence, no music, no nothing. I mean, Harley's got to be in bed sleeping, whatever, and then I can really get into it. It isn't something that you can just turn on real quick like other people. I don't know how the hell they do it, but for me, I have to get prepared, and then I call out like I want to do something with this. And then I wait and I wait, and sometimes I get a good feedback, sometimes I don't. But most of the time, I get a good feedback. But then it's like they're like right in front of me, and then I in my mind I ask them the question like I want to what does this symbol mean, and is it in the right position and stuff and everything. So and then they come back with an answer. Sometimes it's an image. Most of the stuff is all imagery, and then you have to decipher what the hell they're talking about because they don't know English, they don't know that stuff.
Right, right,
So
right.
send the image of of what they're trying to convey, and then I got to try to figure it out. So, but the more you do
It,
it, the more you understand what they're trying to say. You know.
it's a good point you're making because when you start to communicate with, whether it's what we call intergalactic sentient life forms or interdimensional or even group consciousness, it has nothing to do with the same linguistic field
Oh,
as we
no,
understand it
they don't know what
here.
the hell English is.
Linguistic,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. I mean, it's not the same like language communication as we're doing right now. There's almost like a, would you say that almost like a universal way for them communicating with you, and are you receiving like more telepathically or like intuitively, you know what that means to these symbols are conveying, or maybe imagery you receive in your field?
Well, I don't think it's telepathy because we are not that really advanced to understand what the hell they're trying to say. So they send images. At least they send images to me. I can only use telepathy with one person here on the earth, and that was Otter. That was the only person, and we had to be close by. So, but to have somebody, some ET, you know, talk to me from a distance, I just don't buy it. They have to send an image, you know. These other people that say, well, they speak English to me and I understand it, I'm like, all right, whatever. I don't believe that one bit, no way, unless you got a universal translator, which they do have, but you, you're not just going to sit there and go, oh yeah, okay, he's telling me what to do, right? I don't believe that one
Yeah.
bit.
Okay. But here's the thing though. I'm in constant symbiotic form of communication with my group. So for example,
That's
I
different.
can be the
You're talking to a group, okay? But if you have an ET that is just going to talk English to some random person, no, I don't believe that.
can it be that that person perceived a language as decoded in the corresponding language they understand? Like for example, that let's say that sentient being or that star being communicate with an individual, okay? So it's consciousness connecting to another consciousness, but the human being who received the communication will say that being is communicating with me in English. Can it be that it is designed that way to make the person comfortable in recognizing the language so it translate almost like it's being translated or recognized through their field as if the being was using English, but it's just a more of a universal way of approaching that person, but it's been translated to them or recognized to them in a familiar language such as English.
Every
Can you?
every every communication begins with an image, and then you break it down from there. People use automatic writing, which is still an image being brought to you, and then you take that image and you put words or whatever symbols to it. But everything is an image. Then you put it to words. You put it to words, not them.
Right, right, exactly. And I see your point because I experience that on a day-to-day basis.
Hmm.
Let's say my Arcturian father, I've talked about father a lot. And so when my Arcturian father wants to communicate with me, it's more of a, how could I say that? It's almost like a symbiotic soul exchange and conveys to me in my field concept ideas, it's imagery. I mean, it's very, very clear. Everything is transmitted to me, and I'm going to translate what I'm receiving in a basic or a linguistic, in the linguistic field of Gaia. So I choose the English language to
Hmm.
talk about what has been transmitted to me. I always say, well, I open my holographic field and I can see what has been conveyed to me, and I'm going to translate that in ways that I can formulate it in English language. You can understand here what is it being transmitted, right?
Hmm.
And you have to think about this is everyone, this is just an exchange to stimulate, to inspire, to open. And you may not agree with everything, which is perfectly fine. The thing is that it's yes, sometimes will be imagery, sometimes will be a concept, sometimes it can be just a feeling. You know that when you communicate with a higher intelligence, we always says it's higher consciousness communicating with a higher consciousness, and the way you are able or receptive to receive the communication of the higher consciousness, to you it may look like imagery. To you, it may sound like English. To you, it may even sound like Italian, French, or any known language that is familiar for you. So usually there's always a readjustment in terms of how that flow of exchange or information will be translated as. I know because I see that every day in my work, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. You have to understand too that with the extraterrestrial, now, when we talk, humans talk, we're very specific of how we talk. Okay, we speak in very specific things to do. Okay, but the ETs don't do that. They have to pack a lot of information, a lot of stuff in very few spaces. That's how they communicate quickly with everybody. They just, and that's where the images come in at. We might, when they communicate with me, I see an image, and that's to explain what an image is would take a long time to talk about it. So they do the images, and then I have to figure out exactly what they're trying to say. But for have them to sit there and talk to me in the sentence by sentence would take too long. And we're used to it. You're used to it because you can go back to your base language, I guess you could say, because you understand what they're trying to do. But I'm saying that the average person will, when these guys come in here and start talking to the people, it's going to be a difficult transition because we expect them to talk like we do, but they won't. You know.
Yes, exactly. Well, again, we recognize that for us, it's a matter of state of consciousness. The more you become receptive, the more you become open, clear, the more you are also grounded, you're able to receive, you
Hmm.
increase your natural faculties. The human beings are absolutely capable 100% of communicating with any other sentient group consciousness, whether it's a star nations, whether it's an angelic being, whether it's a masters of light. You have ability to communicate. It's just the way programming has been here, the way you've been the filtering system, the way all these natural dormant faculties are starting to come back to be more activated and recognized. It really is about, like we always says, is recognizing yourself as a higher consciousness communicating with another. And what is the frame of reference? What is your frame of reference in terms of what it means communicate to you? It cannot be just the mouth opening and creating a linguistic sentence or a language. Here we can utilize English pretty much all over the planet, and being able to understand each other, even though it's not perfect, we can still relate. That's because we do have a point of reference as being human. But when you come from a different star system, a different galaxy, a different dimensional space, or even a different plane of existence, you no longer have the same understood frame of reference as you have here. So what you do, utilizing more universal protocols or universal symbols, or there's different ways to communicate. And it's true, I am very used to it because of who I am. At the same time, I'm just a reminder of what is possible.
Hmm.
It really is. And I know that many of you have communicate or have interactions. I mean, like right here in the chat room, our friend David with Kim Jim from the Taurus. delegation, the Taurus constellation, and this beautiful, very advanced being, you communicate with them.
Okay,
And
now
they do.
let let me give you an example of the languages, because we deal in linear. Okay, I went to the store. Okay, and for them to do that, they would never say I. You have to go to the store. They would have to dummy down. But what what they also do too is they use symbols like behind me. Okay, case in point was the Stevensville lights way back in 2008, I think it was, when they had these symbols that were in doing something in the sky. Somebody was reading those symbols, and each symbol represented a series of events. Like if we were to watch Gone with the Wind, we'd have to sit through like 2.5 hours to watch Gone with the Wind to understand it. They could do all that with just one little symbol. Okay, so they send out all these different symbols, and it's a whole book in just a couple flashes for the person that is understanding what those symbols are. Okay, you understand? I mean, that's just one example, but there, like these symbols behind me, each symbol is not a word; it's a function, more or less. So you get like four of those symbols together, and it describes an entire motor or something, or entire process of burning titanium or something like that. Does that make any
Yeah,
sense? Yeah.
well, I really appreciate exactly where you're coming from. I really do. I really do. So obviously, we're going to take a deeper dive in this beautiful conversation. Again, we're sending a lot of love and positive vibration to our guest today, Sabine Poncelet. Obviously, for some reason, she's unable to be here. So we're hoping for the best and holding her in positive light. But right now, what I'd like to do is let's clear let's clear the energy. Let's open the field. And I can feel it's been a seeming little bit of frustration or, dualistic energy in the chat room. This is no longer about, no one is challenging anyone. We're simply experiencing a dialogue and different type of experiences, because each and every one of us may have a different experience when it comes to, let's call it ET contact, just to make it more mainstream. But at the same time, it may be unique to you. Remember that it's the same thing with your higher self. Your higher self will communicate with you. For some people, it may show up in a certain way, while others, it may have a different quality or different type of experiences. It's all in relation to your state of awareness, your state of receptivity, your filters, expectations, and how could I say that? How ingrained your 3D logic mind is leading your spiritual journey. So there's different factors to it, right? So let's just open the field and bring back a compassionate and active listening and to feel, oh, this is interesting, the different perspective here. So let's do that with an open heart. Let's just open the field for a moment. Jeff, if you would connect, and we're going to open the space together, right? It really is important right now. So I'm going to invite everyone just for a moment, if you would please close your eyes and just tune in to your heart. As you take several deep breaths, allow yourself to clear the mind. I choose today to clear my mental filters, feeling the need to protect myself or to be right in my perspective, releasing also the dualistic energy of to be right and wrong, light and dark, black and white, all of these cliches. We release all of this from the field. And instead, I'm tuning in to my inner heart wisdom. And with each breath that you take, just see and feel or simply experience the expansion of your heart energetic field. and allowing yourself to go deeper into your beautiful experience, connecting also the heart with your solar plexus, activating your crystalline core of true empowerment and universal connection. And as you keep reading, still feeling yourself connected to the energy grid network of the planet. It is a form of grounding yourself in elevation, clarity, higher discernment, to feel also strongly connected, that you have a strong foundation with Gaia and the planet, and allow yourself to open the gentle spinal flow of universal life force energy. The spinal flow is what is opening your field, expanding also in your auric field. Think of it as you expanding your inner tree of life and allowing the multitude of branches to expand. And this is your cosmic universal connection. It's a beautiful figure of speech you can utilize as a tool. Refresh, ground it, bring yourself back to a point of 0 point or divine neutrality. And divine neutrality allows you to reconnect to your light, to feel your breath, to be clear, opening your intuitive centers, and no longer operating from a false emotional wounded energies, fear, scarcity, and all of it, all these lower frequencies start to dissipate. Allow yourself to re-expand. I call this tuning into your inner human cosmic self and opening to your divine energy, your divine self. You're reharmonizing your internal tree of life as a symbology. Perfect. Let's take a deep breath in and release. Perfect. And now you can reopen your eyes and be here. And just to feel again, just by this quick and yet effective connections and balance, to see how everything changed for you. So the way you listened, you can clear the inner filters, and simply listening in loving presence, like for example, the way Jeff experienced his own connections. Speaking of which, I'm curious, how's your connection? How's your Ponte Star family?
Oh, the Ponte are great. They're all here. And they don't say much, but they did play a game on me the other day. I was looking for a wrap for my foot, and I know I put it on my armrest, my recliner, and I know I did that because I specifically needed a new wrap. I go to get it, it's gone. I'm like, I know they took it. No big thing. Take the dog out, come back in the house. There it is on the couch, just right in the middle. Now I walked by there at least a half a dozen times. So they're still here. They still play games. They got something with socks. They just have a
Ah,
fascination with socks. So I don't know. Maybe they want to
sucks.
try it. Maybe they want to put a wrap on their. I have no idea.
Okay, well, this is fun. This is, I call it galactic humor. Think about it. Your group, your interstellar group, they're curious about your socks. So you would say, well, this is such a human, earthly concept, right? A pair of socks. But at the same time, you have to see in what perspective for them, it appears to be. Whether it's a texture or the purpose of it or how it feels. What do you think they like about this? It is so simple, but to them it might be, something that is non-existent from where you come from. So the energy
Well,
behind it.
I always thought that they don't have anybody to sew stuff for them. Especially an angle. They can wear drape stuff, and to them that's probably cool. But to get it to fit around their foot or something, it's probably really unique. And because I lost a bag of socks, brand new bag of black socks, gone. And I don't know where these socks go. They must walk away. I mean, I checked inside of the washer underneath that thing that spins. Nothing. So I know I'm not losing them, but I know they're taking them. They haven't taken anything for a long time, but they took this on Friday, and said, "You bastards, little guys, man."
I just love the dynamic. You can see everyone again, very unique here on the Infinite Star Connection podcast. And rest assured that we're going to have many more beautiful guests, including David, coming back with talking with Kim Jim, and others. But right now, it's been a long time since Jeff and I and our delegations have been together on the screen. And I'm very grateful for this time right now. So, it really is sometimes a thing we take for granted here. You know that my Arcturian delegation also experienced a great many things and understand the energy of what this life is made of. And every time they feel like, whether I'm overworked and I'm getting tired, he always says, isn't it a good time now to go? Let's go have a piece of chocolate. Go. We know you like it. We know it's helping you to ground and feel so much aligned. And they will tell me in the middle, I can be running a beautiful workshop and I'm kind of get caught up in that energy. And Father comes and tap me on the shoulder, says, I feel time now is the time for a little break. Go eat some chocolate. And I go, what a lovely idea. So I get up, I go downstairs in the kitchen and grab some chocolate. I take a deep breath. I can feel rejuvenating. I come back to my computer and I finish writing my workshop and things flow so beautifully. So it's just to feel how our star families can get engaged with us and this 3D life. But I just want to share that. Thank you for the sock story. I love it. Don't you think it's amazing? There's a wonderful question for us, Jeff, from Adrian. And I
Hmm?
really would like to read Adrian's questions right now. Is that okay with you, Jeff?
Yeah.
Okay, so Adrian is asking, can you please speak on what are the limitations slash galactic rules around ET beings able to participate more directly in physical ways on the planet to help with ascension? So I'll let you answer that first and I'll go next.
Um, I think they've been given the green light to actually do that to certain people. I mean, they can't do it to the whole race because we're all not ready yet. That's why we're looked upon as weird and strange. But they do know the people that are receptive to them, and they'll do it slowly. They still got about another this is 25, right? So they're showing themselves this year, but they won't actively be together here all the way till 2043. So they have time to pick and choose the people that are really want to know them and interact with them. So there is no rules not to really, but they know that they cannot upset the apple cart because it'll screw things up. And there is a galactic laws about non-interference. So, but it's up to the person, you know. And like Sarah always says, you have to understand and accept, and then you can go forward. Okay, but without those two working together, you're going to have closed-minded people, and that's okay. I mean, not everybody can do this. This is not for everybody, you know, especially at the very beginning. When it becomes commonplace, and then people can, talk to other people about their experiences, they feel comfortable about it, then they can accept it. But at the beginning, at the onset, like right now, it is really tough to live on both sides. You have to have one foot in and one foot out, and you have to understand that there is another side other than yours, and that's okay. There always has been. And we looked upon those people when I was younger as crazy, because we didn't understand it. I didn't understand it, so we just chalked them up as being crazy. But they all knew. We just didn't know when we were younger. Now I'm the old guy. Now I get it. You know. I hope that helps.
Incredible. Thank you. Thank you, Jeff, and thank you for answering Adrian's question. We'll explore it in our own ways too, but I want just to acknowledge what you said. And I think it relates to a lot of people that in beyond age, I think that many people who have gone through an awakening or something, a breakthrough, and I hear that even in the chat room, like you, they may unrelated to the topic or dismiss it or think that it's, what's sci-fi or crazy, all of it, until they got an awakening or a moment that allowed them to see that it is just part of a larger reality. And that breakthrough or that awakening allow that person or these group of people to reveal some of the veil or the pre-programming and being able to see what's happening and accepting at a higher level. So I like that. I want to acknowledge what you said about accepting and see where you are. And it is really also up to the individual first, individual to see how open you are. I see in my line of work, Jeff, every day people asking me, "Oh, I want to see, I want to see my star family. I want to connect with, it's okay for us. You ask us, you can call us ETs. It's just a word, and for us, there's no meaning to it. But we do exist outside of your terrestrial reality. And to us, we can see if an individual who is requesting to connect with us, if they're really ready to be in that energy. But you have to meet us halfway in terms of frequencies, in terms of vibration. So, to Adrian's questions, it is impossible for the enlightened, spiritually advanced, sentient star nations to force themselves to make contact or to physically make contact on the planet if we see that still is a lot of fear energy or some, either your fate is preventing you or create a barrier or something like this. Like you mentioned, there will be a non-interference. We're here to support evolution as opposed to create fear and chaos. Now, there are other groups who feed off of chaos and fear, but that's a whole different level. But if you look in terms of what are the ET beings, the enlightened, spiritually oriented ones, are waiting for to make more direct physical contact or participation to Adrian's questions. I'll give you an example of this. At the beginning of this year, that we call the New Cosmic Gateway 2025, it's a quantification for you of understanding time, right? This is your calendar year, 2025. At the beginning of this new cosmic gateway, as we call it, I was taken consciously in my holographic light body, and I saw hundreds of different craft or spacecraft representing over 100 different type of ET nations. We call it the ET nation or the star nations or ET species, if you want to call it this way. Again, semantics. So, but there was over at least 100 different group consciousness around me, and I was inside of a small ship that we call a scout ship. They're usually attached to a mothership. And mine is attached to my Arcturian father's mothership because he is in charge of that particular craft. So I'm in the small ship. Consciously, I know exactly what's happening in my holographic light body, and I look around and I can see because the way the ship is, I can see aspect, and there's hundred of other craft around me, and I can feel all of their quantum signature. I can feel that we came as a unity consciousness, acknowledging each other, and we all looking towards the earth. All eyes are on the planet. Okay, so hold that thought for a moment. You would say, to Adrian's point, Well, what are they waiting for? When are they coming? And imagine hundreds of different shape of craft coming and entering your field or entering the low Earth orbit of the planet and make themselves visible. What would you think will happen globally? It defies the purpose of what true contact is about. It's a consciousness. It's not about the craft landing physically and coming, I come in peace, take me to you, leader. This is the old cliche. And they all agreed, all of these star nation that I was a part of, they were very, very aware that they are eager to reconnect with the human beings. They are eager to reconnect on a more conscious, equal level with the Earth star beings on the planet. You're, to them, you are their star brothers and sisters of planet Earth. And many, they're recognizing many of part of themselves as star seed that are currently having a human incarnation on the planet. They are eager to reconnect. At the same time, they also have the spiritually advanced and enlightened knowledge and understanding that if they were to do that a little bit too soon, too fast in the timeline, it may create a disruption, whether it's creating a fear, whether it's the dark light polarity interfering, whether it's creating the opposite of what they were intended to create. They understand. So what are they waiting for? There's no wait per se, but they are waiting in a sense that we, us here, boots on the ground, that means all of you watching right now, is we are the one who need to step forward, step aside from the personality and our 3D life and our filters and our stories and politic, religion and what governments say what and how much money you have in the bank account, how much we get so caught up. It is mental, entangled realities. There's no room to allowing a true higher intelligence to come in and says, allow me to exchange with you. You need to be prepared, body, mind, spirit, and soul. You
Mhm.
have to be in alignment. You have to clear your filters. If you carry too much fear in your field, but you're saying in your words, I want to connect, what do you think will speak the loudest? It's the fear energy. So there's no interference, there's support, there's assistance, there's guidance, there's a lot of things that we do, even around the solar system, even in this quadrant. We do a lot of work in support of humanity that is unseen, unrecognized, unspoken of. So we are here. And as many of us who came in the form of star seed because it is more gentle, it's easier to relate to what looks human, speak human, feels human, rather than coming to you in our 15 feet tall, lanky, very ET looking, says, I have a podcast, a meditation. Would you like to join me today? It's we Something's gonna give. So meet us halfway. Raise your frequency, raise your vibration, step out of fear, recognize who you are, start to decode your own soul language, recognizing your intuitive centers, your abilities. You need to meet us and that frequency, because if we're here naturally and overall the planet is still here, well, there's a misalignment in the frequencies. We need to bring ourselves, and we can't lower ourselves any lower because we need to find a beautiful. This is where we utilize, many beings utilize the fifth dimensional and sixth dimensional frequency as a baseline, a bridge to connect. So it's really about us. Humanity needs to step up in humanity, in unity, in recognition, in partnership, in fraternity, in support. It's time for all the nations of this world to return, not the government, not the RV, not the bed meds or all the technology. It's you. It's everyone on the planet. You need to rise. It is time. You need to step back in your power and say, I no longer give up my peace, give up my love, give us my authority to some kind of institution, it is time to really, and this is why the planet is ready and the planet is moving into her ascension. I can tell you that Gaia is reascending. It's already a reality. So it's really up to us. This is why we are the ones boots on the ground. And I'm telling you, it's beyond the craft landing on the lawn. It's about consciousness recognizing another consciousness. This is where the true level, the depth of contact will be. And again, there's many perspectives on the matter, but feel it in your heart for a moment. Feel the calling. Can you feel that? I haven't looked in the chat room in a moment, but it really is. It's allowing that energy. And so I shall simply wrap up right now by saying if you get hooked on a linear calendar date, that's because you're also very engaged still in the middle timeline here. Do you really think an enlightened being will says, according to the 3D linear time construct and your false calendar, on May 18 on 2027, we'll be landing in mass? Whoever said that, disregard that. Any prediction, right? I see you shaking your head. Don't you feel that any prediction on date? Mm-mm.
No,
No,
no.
no.
Actually, do you believe in first contact? Question for you.
What was the question, my friend?
Do you believe we had first contact?
First contact has been embedded in the Earth history. You are the first contact. That's, it's, let me tell you, it's the same thing as ascension. We are not ascending. We are reascending again. We are doing this again. It's a return again. It's another cycle of reascending into returning into our original form. So first contact, there may be gazillion, millions of first contact that's been unfolding over time. Look at the beautiful Aboriginal nations around the
Hmm.
world, the
The ones
First
that
Nations of
disappear
Canada.
overnight and stuff. Yeah, they all ascended together.
That, yes, we know, like the Mayans have,
Mhm.
thanks to the Syrians' teaching on frequencies and vibrational shift and manipulation they have. On the other end, they have also created a lot of karma. And I know because I was at a Mayan temple a few months ago, and there's a lot of heavy, still grief and heavy energy that was still being unresolved. But they do have utilized that technology that the Syrians have taught them. That has
No, I
been a
know.
first
No,
contact.
no, I always believed that we had our first contact back in 1934. Okay, and
Okay, tell me about it.
it didn't go too well. And they ended up going to the people back in the 50s. And we've been having ongoing contact since then. I mean, they actually
Okay.
tried to go and contact the governments, but the governments didn't want anything to do with it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but they actually forced it onto the people. If you're ready, this is who we are, and it's been doing that since then. So these people that do have, you know, visitations, this and that, I actually believe that that does happen. But to the masses, they still have to understand it and accept it, and then they'll get more visits because they don't want to come and waste their time and visit somebody that is deathly afraid of them or is going to kill them. They're not going to want to do that. That's just simple. That's a simple rule. So, it just comes down to the person has to want it. You have to want it. You can talk about it, that's great, but some people don't want it. And that's cool. I know a lot of people that don't want it. I know a lot of people that say they want it, and then when they're confronted with it, they run home to mama. So they're not ready. Okay, but most of the people are are getting ready. I wouldn't say that they're all ready yet, because it's something that is new and unsure. You're always very cautious. We're a cautious race. We don't want to just unzip our fly with anybody that just says, "Hello, how are you doing?" So it takes a bit to understand and accept. And when you do that, it's like a flood of people or a flood of ETs because they know that this person gets it. I mean, it all started with me with the Ponte, and then
Right.
the Umo came around. Okay,
Oh, that.
but I studied the Umo before, but I didn't know that they could contact you. And then Kim Jim
Mm-hmm.
just recently, and that female energy with Kim Jim was amazingly that was cool as hell. And so there's three right then and there. And I know that if I want to talk to one of those guys, it's just they're just a thought away.
I love that. They're just a thought away. So let me ask you this, my friend. You talk about just those three beautiful groups, so to speak, of direct
That's enough for me.
experience.
That's enough. I mean, I know that your father came, and but that was
Mm-hmm.
a massive energy. That was like, you know what? There, you're cool, you're fine, but nice to meet you, but wouldn't want to be you. You know, you go over with her and leave me alone.
Okay, well, and we understand that. I know. And for me, it's natural. It's like vitamin C for the soul. But still, the three groups that you recognize, the Umo, your Ponti group, Kim Jim, who came to you. How has it changed you? How these interactions have changed you?
It is a thirst of wanting to know more. I want to know more about them, how they live, how they do, how do they reach across the galaxy to contact little old me? I'm just a little ant. Well, why, but I just want to know more about them. I want to understand their perspective, and that's a lot of work.
Understanding, and I love that because it brings us back to the very core sometime of asking, why me? You know, why choosing me? And you said like, I'm this sometimes we think of ourselves we are this small pawn in the big universe, but it's the opposite. You, because of who you are. We see your living aura. We see who you are. We're recognizing you. Like for you, example, Jeff, I spoke of this before, but allow me to bring it back again because this is so important. When we first met quite a few years ago now, at this large conference, I saw you in your human form as Jeff with personality, life story, and all of it. But to your Ponte Star family, your group, they see you in a whole different level. They understand that the part of you is playing that role here. But the first thing they told me, the first thing they showed to me is how important you are to them. And I asked, what makes him so important to you? And the answer was very simple and still is valid to this day. That's because you are one of them. To them, they're recognizing you as one of them. And they're and it's part of the soul agreement that what a fractal or an aspect of you has chosen to come back in the human form and forget about most of your truth of who you are and embrace this personality, this journey with all the bumps and the ups and downs that came with it. But to them, they still remember who you are originally. So the first thing he told me is, please realize how important he is to us. And my response to them was, I honor your connection because I know he is one of yours. And I recognize that and I honor him. And so I want to establish with your group, your star family group, that my intention were noble, of friendship, positive, and all of this. And that was the beginning. And here we are today, already, with the podcast, co-hosting this podcast, already in the sixth season. But I remember
Mhm.
that was the initial point of contact. So again, I spoke of this before, but today I feel like it's even more important to remembering that when you ask yourself, and good point, Jeff, by the way, Why me? Why having this experience? Why it is being all with me all my life, or this group, or watching over me? Ask yourself truly, beyond this identity, who am I truly? Am I a part of that group? Is there a soul connection? What is my, my beautiful energy with them? And realize that you are far more than what you've been led to believe. And that is part of the grand reawakening. And again, I do say the word reawakening. You're returning to start to remembering what is already within you, right? Does that
Mhm.
make sense?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Already, let's take a deep breath, everyone. This is amazing. Off the chart. Well, Adrienne, you're amazing. I know you're asking another question here, and I'm going to read a question. Is that okay, Jeff? Is I read a second question from
Oh, this
Adrienne?
ought to be a good one. This ought to be a good one.
It'd be a good one. Okay, you're on a roll today, Adrienne. Thank you. So the question is, do Arcturians ever laugh or have some form of unintentional things happening that are funny? What is humor or entertainment in the higher dimensions? We don't. That was my attempt to make it a joke. So, oftentimes, I have been in the past compared to the character in Star Trek, the Vulcan character of Spock, which is a big compliment, by the way. And I did meet Leonard Nimoy, the original actor of the original Spock of the Star Trek series, by the way. So I have oftentimes been compared to that energy, or Octurnes have been compared to the energy of the Vulcan or this, like Spock. The reason is that your understanding of fun, laughter, joke, being loose, entertaining, or you need to be entertained, it's very unique here on this planet. Now, you may say that there are other intergalactic groups who may have a delightful sense of humor. But I can assure you that it is understood on a whole different level. So you think about Octurians, you ask about us. We are millions of years old. We have learned and went through so many stages of evolutions, learning, integration, expansion, and we know that Octurians are known for their immense, beautiful, diplomatic, ambassadorial, and healing qualities. We also have evolved to a point that we're utilizing our very advanced mental faculties and complete alignment with our beingness in a way that transcends the imagination in time, in the future timeline of humanity. There will be aspect of those mental faculties that will start to be reintegrated in the field. So our needs to be entertained has nothing to do with the way you perceive it here. For example, one thing I've learned, I've worked 20 years in corporate. You work hard all week, and in the weekend you have fun. That was a very foreign concept for me. And then when the weekend arrived, I tell my group, what am I supposed to do? I know I need rests. I know I need to do the grocery. I need to know to do my laundry. I need to know how to be functioning. But what is fun? What is my understanding of fun? So they said to me, just allow the concept of fun, F-U-N, or entertainment, and interweave it in a way that really makes your heart uplift. What makes your heart sing? What makes your heart and your spirit uplift? So I discover ways to do this here. But for us, you may say, oh, yes, I talk to Octurne, they have a delightful sense of humor. Most likely, it's we know how to adapt to who we connect with or who we work with. And we may say something that was designed vibrationally to uplift the spirit of that person or to support the energy. And it was decoded or interpreted as funny. Well, you have to think about, would you ask a Syrian being or an advanced Andromedan or, tell me a joke, I want you to be funny. You have to understand in what context you're talking to. So if you want to redefine funny or entertainment to universal joy or expanding more at that level, they would say, oh, okay, now we're talking more of a frame of reference that we can relate to. I still have an inability to relate to fun. For what makes you laugh, to me, it's okay, it's an experience. But what makes me very, very laugh, it may not make you laugh because my concept of fun and entertainment is very different. We are very mission driven. That's what brings us fulfillment. That's what brings us the joy of serving the prime creator. So it's a whole different level. It's very challenging for me to express. I come from a realm that is really different from this one. So there may be other group, maybe the Humo have maybe something more similar, closer to the understanding of what entertainment is. Or maybe, those of the Taurus constellation have something else. But for us, it's what brings us joy. It's understood on a whole different frequency and a different level. So we have our own way to we have a way to maintain ourselves in a constant state of contemplation. We provide upliftment, love, and that can be considered as a form of joy. It's very, very a different concept for us. So thank you for asking. Hmm?
Yeah, now see the Ponchi, they experience humor like we do. They like practical jokes. They like laughing. Okay, but the Umo, they don't laugh. You know, they just go, that was funny. Very dry, very mathematical, very scientific people. They don't they don't pull practical jokes on anybody. They just, very spiritual people.
And that's a good example. I remember also, your star group called the Ponti, we refer to them as the Ponti.
Yeah,
They
that's right.
have a different even level of interactions with you in the day to day. I remember one time you talk about um, finding teeth mark on in a
Oh, my pickle.
pickle.
Yeah, I still got that. Well, I don't know if I still have it now. It's probably gone, but yeah, they bit the damn pickle. I ain't going to
That you
touch it. I
That's one
put
of
it
my
back in the
favorite
jar.
stories.
You know,
I love that. I love thing. It's just the energy of what you said that day, the first time you talk about your group, your Ponti beautiful star family experiencing what a pickle is in a jar and finding the mark, the teeth mark. It I never looked at pickle the same way after that. It really brought me a lot of joy. And it's unique because my delegation, we don't do that at all. You know,
true story. That was a true
it
story.
was incredible. Oh, well, I thank you for mentioning that, Jeff. It always bring me back. And I want to say also thank you for everyone for your amazing comments and feedback. And Donna Martin is right, is that Octurans will live in such a higher level of existence, like ecstasy at all times, that state of contemplation, that it's really can be challenging for people here to comprehend that. It's part of what we're here for. Our turns were placeholders. We are an example of a future potential that is absolutely reachable for humanity. So I like that comment very much. And what Mike is saying also, he says, Vivian, you've adapted very well in your role here and have learned humor to humor us. Thank you. Well, you are always aloha, and thank you, Mike, because you've always been part of my best audience. If you laughed at my joke, it's because you are an open-minded and on your path of spirituality and enlightenment. Thank you so much for this. Can I share quickly something that just happened recently during a presentation? Jeff, I back in March, I did two conferences. So the second conference was called Rise of the Guardians, and we had the organizer Rian, who was here on the Infinite Star Connection podcast. You remember Rian,
Mhm.
Team
Yeah.
Light? Okay, so with Team Light, there was a conference at the end of March in Sedona, Arizona, called Rise of the Guardians. And so Rion gave me the big stage, and I did a presentation on the big stage on Sunday during a conference, and we did a galactic birthing. Literally, we did a galactic birthing. I mean, a birth took place symbolically through the timeline. It was absolutely exquisite. And as I am on stage, I can see a lot of movement. So my Octane father is there in his holographic light body. It is just as real as this podcast is real. But to people in the audience, if you are in attunement with our frequency, you may see my Octane group with me in their light body form. So the stage is very busy, but from a perspective of the audience, there's only one person on stage. So we're here, we're opening sacred space, we're introducing what we're going to do, which was a deep experience. And there was a galactic birding that took place that day. And so I am talking about the journey we have done so far, and Peter and I have traveled in over 5 continents and bring the sacred frequencies and how we work with the planet as we travel to different places. So I was talking about Stonehenge, this beautiful, beautiful ancient site in England that is known around the world. It's so ancient, right? And I was talking that when we enter Stonehenge at sunrise, we were given permission by the English Historical Society to be there for 1 hour with my group. So we were there. As I entered the site, the first thing the Guardians did is to greet me as the Nocturne Ambassador. And I can see the stone shifting as very advanced interdimensional being. And as I'm talking about this to the audience in the room, somebody's cell phone started to ring, and it was a very specific ringtone. And spontaneously, I said, "There it is. The guardians are calling you." And everybody started laughing in the audience, and it's an auditorium, so it was echoing through laughter as if we were in a stand-up comedy instead of a galactic activation. But the energy that I witnessed that day in that moment was phenomenal. What I saw is a break free of limitation, fear, fatigue, frustration, whatever was lingering in the room just dissipated. And because of that huge laughter in the audience, the synergy of the room changed in the auditorium. And then we were able to go so much deeper in our galactic activation, and that birthing energy came through in a timeline. And everyone after, when we left the auditorium after my presentation, I can feel how people were transformed in their own way. It was really, really incredible at that moment. It was very potent and very unscripted, unexpected. As I'm speaking about my experience with a guardian in that sacred site in England, the phone started ringing. So I always attune myself to see what is the synchronicity around me instead of being offended by the interruption of a cell phone ringing. I interweave that into the moment and says, "There you go. The guardians are calling. Are you going to answer?" And it was so spontaneous in the moment that it created a shift in the room. It was incredible, Jeff.
Yeah, I think what happened is that you got everybody on the same page at the same time to join together and laugh. Okay, and that brought everybody for that moment, brought everybody together. Their combined
Exactly.
energy together. Changed
It
it
com-
all.
that's it. That's exactly it, Jeff. We came together. It was a gathering, and it, there was no need to go through a complex technique
No,
or having
no.
a huge protocol that seems so exhausting and complicated. It was from a simple moment in time, a synchronicity happened during my lecture at that very precise moment when that one cell phone started to ring and it was loud. We can hear it throughout the auditorium. And I said, ah, they're calling you right now. Let's do it. And it
Yep.
just changed everything. It was
It's a
incredible.
moment.
The moment, exactly. And yes, Gina, rising the vibration through universal joy. That's
Exactly.
what it is,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly what it is.
So,
Yep.
exactly. So, of course, everything has a purpose. We understand that. It's just different ways of how we're utilizing it. And that's just different application depending on where you grew up, where you come from in the multiverse, and all of it. So, but yes, everything serves a purpose. So, thank you for allowing me to share that incredible experience. It just happened. Um, it just happened. Just recently at that conference. And I want to say hello to Anya from Venus
Oh
Spirit
yeah,
in Germany. She is the
Germany.
organizer. I'm sorry?
Yep, she's from Germany.
Yes, she is. And Anya, I want to say hello and recognize Anya is the organizer of the Earth Star Conference that's going to be in July in Germany. I will be there. Many other amazing speakers. So I want to say hello to everyone and make sure you look on my website, infinitehealingfromthestars.com, under events, conferences, all the detail of Anya's conferences there. If you want to come and join us in Germany in this beautiful castle, it's going to be absolutely phenomenal. So I just want to mention that right now, July, I think it's July 3rd to the 6th. Beautiful energy there. So if you can come and join us in person, that will be here. See, perfect. So I just want to say hello to Anya, who is in the audience today. Ah, let's take a deep breath. What an amazing, rich, beautiful, uplifting podcast today. Sometimes we go in a directions and then there's a course correction, a new direction taking place, and look how deep we've been going together. Yes, July 3rd to the 6th in Germany. All the details on my website. You can really join us in person, and I think it's gonna be my first time, oh, in this lifetime. It's gonna be my first time in Germany. Never been. Have you been to Germany before, Jeff?
I've been in Germany. Yep, I've been there.
Okay. Oh,
I should
good.
say
What
that
part?
I've been to the pubs in Germany and the plants in Germany. But yeah, no, not a
Oh,
conference. So
wow. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Yeah, I never been so far, well, from this lifetime perspective. So I was very honored that Anya opens her door and says, I want you to come and speak and bring your octar and wisdom, your presence, and the Star Nations. And so she was the first brave one to say to bring me to a European conference around enlightened star people and consciousness and quantum and so much more. So very, very happy. And yes, eventually we'll have to maybe do something in Spain. I'd like to do that. Montreal, Quebec. Huh? Yeah, that could be also a good idea. Growing up, I grew up in Montreal. And Spain also, never been, could be a beautiful place to be. We have members in Spain from our Octern University group. So, a place I really would like to go is in Mount Fuji in Japan, because this is one of the etheric outposts for the Octurians, and I really feel the calling to go there. So let's bring the energy to see what we can co-create a wonderful event there that can be absolutely phenomenal for the planet and uplifting all the grid system throughout Asia. That will be my next big, big endeavor that I like to do. Absolutely. So, Jeff, any experience you want to share or something you want to, maybe something uplifting? I know you've gone through a lot, but what have you learned in terms of your, knowledge and wisdom and things that you have seen changing maybe with whether it's the galactic connections, whether it's in your own life?
um, it's interesting because all this past 6 months has been an upheaval, but it's still they're still here, and they are relentless at doing me doing their work for them. I mean, they just don't give up, which is fine because I need that right now. Um, they do still plan to be in contact this year, and I just trying to get my legs together and get back into the game and stuff. But they say that my time is coming up here pretty soon, so I cannot wait.
Yes, I
I'm going to
can
be
see
hitting the
that.
ground running again. So
Yep. Yes, absolutely. It's your grand rising, Jeff. It's your grand rising. Definitely. I can see that for you. And it's encouraging to be able to see, someone we care about, to see that it's your time. It really is. I can feel that. I have an idea. It's spontaneous, like this podcast today, very spontaneous, very, very heart energy, very human, very galactic, very universal. This is what today podcast is about. It comes an idea. Yes, I like that. Just one thing that David is saying right now, the ambassador must travel. Travel to speak the language of kindness, the language of hope and peace. And that's exactly what we do. That's exactly what we convey. So here comes an inspiration. With your permission, my dear friend Jeff, I'd like to ask everyone to join one more time as we open a wonderful, high vibrational circle of healing. And let's let's gather around Jeff to bring complete healing. It is his time of grand rising. His life is moving in a whole different direction. I know you've come such a long way. So I'd like to do that today. Would you accept, Jeff?
yeah, let's go.
Okay, so Jeff is giving us permission. Everyone, we're gathering today as emissaries of light. This is all of us. You're representing different places around the world. Let's bring ourselves together and to feel the energy. This is your opportunity to be of service. We always want, what can I do to support? How can I be of service to the light? So let's bring a beautiful circle of high vibrational, pure love and healing light around Jeff here, my friend and my co host, and helping him because as we do so, it also reflects back to you, and we come together to uplift one soul. Imagine how much more we can do. We can, always says, we can move mountains together and ask the mountains to move with us. Let's do it. Shall we? Yes? Already. So thank you for, very grateful for all of you. Thank you for being here, wherever you represent. So let's, if you would please, close your eyes and just feel for a moment as you connect to your heart that we also connecting to the heart of Jeff. We invite you to feel each other wherever you are around the world. And yet, we gather around one planet, the Earth. Beautiful energy of this blue pearl, as we lovingly call the Earth. And let's just feel that we come together today through our pure heart, the power of our light, the stepping into the authority, the sovereignty of your being, your I am presence, to feel that you are reawakening the higher qualities of the cosmic awakened human beings, fully recognized also as divine beings and galactic royalties. That's right, you are. And let's come together today to support one beautiful soul. And we know him in this lifetime as Jeff Demers, our friends, our beautiful friend, our co-host here. I can tell that the Ponte nations are pretty happy that we do that. So we also call upon our star nations, our guides. Let's just send pure love to Jeff for his highest and greatest good, with peace, harmony, to see him already healed, is already done. His body is perfect. his feet, his legs, his spirit, his heart. Let's hold him in the pure light, already whole and perfect. We're simply coming together as a loving reminder of who he already is and allowing his life to reflect back to him that wholeness, that perfection, that vibrancy in pure love. So let's just hold a space together as we come together to uplift this one beautiful soul. Privilege, I call him my dear friend. And just to, Jeff, to remind you today how much we truly all care for you and about you. And this podcast would not exist without you. Just feel that, receive the gifts today, as many, many of us are joining this circle of pure light from around the world and allowing this pure love to reflect back to you. And remember to take several deep cleansing breaths. Clear your heart, clear your mind, clear your body of all clutter, limitation, all energies. Step down frequencies and just feel your own light returning to you, the flow of a universal presence. And as we come together, we are reminded of our unity, the true strength that we hold individually and combine together, amplify that strength of light. It is what we are coming to, into our best version of ourselves when we are being of service to the light. And being of service includes you. So let's just send one more time beautiful wave of pure love energies to Jeff. And these waves of pure love energy reflect back to all of you in gratitude. Let's take a deep breath and release. Beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You can open your eyes. Ah, well, that was incredible.
Thank you, everybody.
You are most welcome. Thank you so much for joining us in this healing circle. We have done a few in the past. Jeff has gone through a lot in his life, and today we come back together again to actually remind you, my friend, that you're already whole and complete. Healing is implied because I can feel his vibrancy, your vibrancy, and I saw all of us coming together. And like David is saying in the chat room, this light will penetrate the universe. This is how the power we are when we come together. Isn't that incredible? And the love passed right through me. Thank you for sharing. I'm going to share your comment, David, on the screen. I know you'll be back on the show. We'll have the joy to talk with you and Kim Jim very soon. And the energy, the gratitude. Yes, I feel that too, Ellie. Woohoo, that was beautiful, powerful energy swaying to side by side. Yes. Did you feel that? Did you feel the
Yeah, it was
energy?
really good. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. Incredible, is it not? Infinite gratitude to you as well, Carolina. It was very lovely. See the energy. And that's what is unique about us right here on the Infinite Star Connection podcast with your host, Jeff Demers, and myself, Viviane Chauvet. You never know what transpires here with us. You never know what direction we're going to take. And today, as we reveal one of these magnificent synchronicity where something took place with our guests and opened a space for all of us to explore amazing, uplifting conversation leading up to a healing circle for my friend Jeff. Isn't that incredible? That's why it's called synchronicity working at its best. I love it. How are you feeling, Jeff, if I may ask?
Um, I I can't wait to go back to work after the podcast. I got some things going right now with the UMO, and I can't wait to jump back into it. It's like it's already my mind's already ready to figure this stuff out. So
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. And then once you go back to it, will you share more with us?
oh yeah, yeah, I'm actually yeah I got a couple more uh, drawings that I'm deciphering right now, trying to figure out what the hell they're talking about. But
Exciting.
I'll get
Exciting.
it.
I know. I know. Very much
Yeah, it's
so.
exciting to me, but I don't know the average person look and say, "What the hell is that?" You know, but it's exciting to me.
It really is. And we are both, ambassador directly from our different delegations. And what we bring is inspiration, love, courage, strength. And when it's time to come to uplift one soul, it's really uplifting all of us, not only on the planet, on a global level, but also throughout the universe, as mentioned. So we are very grateful for each and every one of you. All of this is possible because we come together as a unity consciousness. And imagine the energy that we have generated today. Now that's exactly what our star brothers and sisters say. That's exactly it. You continue to come together, you continue to uplift each other. Now there's a space for us. And then we can join you as equal and to always stay in your light. Yes. And I like it, like Mike is saying, beautiful energy of, our Octane University and the unity of what we bring. So to feel the energy, there's no need to wait, manifest it now. Everything coexists in the quantum field. Everything is pure potential in manifestation. So it is in the now. And as we always say, stay in your light and walk in the certainty of your light. And we will be back. The Infinite Star Connection podcast will be back on Sunday, April 20th. Same time, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, Sunday, April 20th. And let's see what else we have in store. So let's come and find out with us. Any final words for today?
Just thanks for everybody for partaking. Really appreciate that, and we'll just keep plugging away, and we will get there.
Oh, we are getting there, and with the swirling galaxy and the stars that we are, and all the energy. So stay in your light, everyone. And David, au revoir. À bientôt, as we say in French. We'll see you soon. Thank you for staying to be with us every time. We deeply appreciate you. Much love, everyone.